Okay, I want to start this video off by... I suppose I should first say that I am going to be talking over the cutscenes from now on. Or at least for this video, just to see how people like it. I get the feeling from feedback I've gotten from my friends who have watched my previous two videos that people don't really watch them, so I thought I'd just talk over them then, and I can talk a bit about what's going on in the story, which is fun. So this is the, I suppose, proper introduction of Jeanne, because when we first see her, she's a bit mysterious, we don't really know who she is, and it's the same here. This cutscene is so funny. But yeah, it's the same here, we don't really know who she is, but she, you know, she's gonna speak, and we're gonna get to know a little bit more about her. But yeah, so I'll be talking over the cutscenes. Also, I want to apologize, I suppose, for the audio quality of last video. I'm hoping this video will be better. To explain that, the first video that I did, which had pretty good audio quality, I used like a headset, like a gaming headset, which was not mine, I was borrowing it. And then for the second video, I bought like a proper microphone thinking, oh, well, this will be really good. But I didn't know how to use it properly. So unfortunately, yeah, the audio wasn't that good. But I'm hoping this one will be better, and I'll learn as I go. Yeah, I don't have like a pop filter or anything, which is why you got a lot of those really harsh P's and B's in the previous video. But yeah, it should get better moving forward. So yes, Jeanne is pretty cool.
This is a moment I've long desired. But you've forgotten your destiny and wasted the past 20 years.
So, we don't really know why yet, but Jeanne is hoping to jog Bayonetta's memory, I guess. This is the thing in this game with its cutscenes, is like, a lot of the time there's just exposition dumps that characters will just do out of nowhere because the game needs you to understand something, and you didn't know it yet, so a character will just explain it to you, which is pretty funny. Oh, I think so anyway.
Then allow me to face the outcast.
None! Helen Kiadagat! The child is of impure blood. Challenging her would be a violation of our tenets of faith.
It would not be the first time we faced each other.
Don't really know what to say. I just want to watch the cutscenes. Actually, on this playthrough that I've been doing for the LP, I've been watching the cutscenes way more than I normally would. Because normally I just skip them when I play the game. So it's been really fun to revisit the story, because I'd forgotten it. But yeah, so... also because I know what happens in the story, I don't know what's too much to say at this point. I'm afraid I'll be like, oh yeah, so this is what's going on. And it's a spoiler. But no worries, combat. So this is Jeanne. She's a recurring boss in the game, and she's a little bit difficult. Not so much on normal, which is the difficulty we have here, but on harder difficulties, she is very, very difficult to deal with. In this particular fight on normal, she's really kind of skittish. She'll run away for the most part. I think it's mainly to try and show off the witch walk, which is the ability to walk on walls and roofs when the full moon is out that witches have. So Jeanne will do it a lot. She will not stay in one place. She will not stay on the ground. She will do cartwheels and flips and go on the walls. It's really kind of annoying, but not exactly difficult. The challenge here is mostly just keeping your combo up, because she will deflect your bullets and try and get away from you, but as long as you can do that, it shouldn't be too hard. if you're unfamiliar with the fight, you didn't really see it there, but you can get Witch Time by dodging her Wicked Weave. So she has Wicked Weaves like you do, that only come out at certain times. If you dodge her normal attacks, you won't get Witch Time, but if you dodge a Wicked Weave, you will. So she's, that makes her harder than a lot of the enemies you've fought up until this point, but you still can get Witch Time off of her, so. And it's a good way to boost your combo points if you're struggling to get it. Although, you shouldn't be, I don't think. It's not a problem I've ever had anyway. The angels have cool names, I reckon. Yeah, there's a thing you can do. I think it's that it happens sometimes where with the parry accessory where when enemies shoot projectiles at you and you parry, you can like knock them back towards them using an accessory that I'll get later on. You can like duplicate them. I think it's at this bit. Somebody in the comments is gonna, you know, tell me I'm crazy if I'm wrong here, but yeah, you can. I don't know exactly what causes it, but I guess if you tilt the stick forward, which is the input, like really quickly, you can like end up knocking back 2 bullets. And I'm not sure if that's because there were 2 bullets flying at you, or if it's a glitch of some sort. It doesn't look like there's more than 1 bullet. I'm really not sure, but it's a thing that happens sometimes. It didn't happen then because I don't have the parry accessory. I'll try and get it on camera at some point so that I can prove my lucidity. So, the Emerald Tears of Blood, I know where most of them are, but I'm bound to forget some. So rather than be particularly persnickety about it, I figured I just make a video toward the end where I go back and get any that I missed, just to show you where they all are. Yeah. If you'd prefer I not do that, unfortunately, I've already filmed most of the chapters, so nothing much we can do about it. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay, and just like with Jeanne, this is the proper introduction of Luka, who is sort of like a comedy relief character, I suppose. He does like matter to the plot a little bit, but I think he's mostly there to make you laugh. Also, interesting fun fact, I've been, this might be revealing a little bit too much about who I am as a person, but I've been watching Naruto recently. And look, Yuri Lowenthal, the guy who plays Sasuke, is the same voice actor who plays Luka here. Next time he talks, I'll let him.
Fate brought us here together, and it will never tear us apart.
So that's his voice, and an example of him being a comedy character. But it's really interesting to hear the difference in the way that he played them, because they're so different. Like, Luka is very goofy, and Sasuke is obviously, like, brooding. I didn't even realize, because I'm familiar with Yuri... I keep saying his name wrong. I'm familiar with Yuri Lowenthal. I keep wanting to call him Louis for some reason. Anyway, I'm familiar with his work. He's in a ton of things. And I didn't recognize him in Naruto when I was rewatching it. Because he sounds so different. But yeah, little bit of general knowledge for you, I suppose, if you care about that kind of thing. Oh, another thing is another character from Naruto, the voice actress of Tamari, I believe it is, plays Alrune in the second game, so that's kind of fun.
You know, in the language of flowers, rosemary equates to remembrance.
I think they're married. I don't know. Don't quote me on this. Use Google. But anyway, so we're finding out now why Luka is following Bayonetta. He's a reporter. Or a journalist, I suppose. Bayonetta's just fucking with him.
I'm not your pet. The name is Luka. A name you'd better remember.
While we're on the topic of voice actors, pretty sure the voice actor or actress for Jeanne plays... Oh, I forget her name. From Avatar The Last Airbender, the Zuko's sister. The firebending princess character. Azula. Yeah. So they have the same voice actress. So that's another fun fact, I guess, if you care about voice actors.
I know all about your kind. Sure, my colleagues laugh at me for chasing fairy tales, amongst other things. But I know they're real. I know the truth. The smell.
So Luka can't see the angels. I'm not sure how obvious that is, but yeah, he can't. Or Bayonetta.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Cheshire.
The name is Luke.
You need to hone your sense of smell, my dear.
There's no rosemary in the perfume. After all, rosemary's a demon repellent.
When it comes to like innocent human characters in this game, Bayonetta does a lot of stuff that it's like logistically it should be pretty dangerous, but like they never end up getting hurt, like shooting bullets past them, or like just then when she blew up a window and a glass shard could have blinded Luka. I think like you're meant to believe it's like, oh, she's so cool that she knew ahead of time, because she doesn't want to hurt anybody who is innocent. She just wants to kill angels. Yeah, it's kind of funny where it's just like you could have done permanent damage to this guy, but you wanted to look cool and shoot a window open. But yeah, so this verse is not really difficult. I know I say that a lot. I am trying to be encouraging, not annoying. So if you've played this game and you think it's hard, I'm sorry. But yeah, because it's more of the enemies that we've already been fighting. So, but there's a lot of them, so you have a lot of chances to make mistakes. So that's probably the most difficult part, is just the gauntlet aspect. But it's really fun. I like these sections in the beginning chapters with the bunch of enemies. You can do whatever you want and not have to worry so much. But yeah, just make sure that your combo doesn't break, as always. I wouldn't even risk it personally. If my combo broke, I would just quit out to the menu. So, fun fact, I skipped this cutscene instinctively. I did it before, I think, in the prologue, but I had to go back and get this footage, so at a later date, I will keep in the footage of me going back and playing through the level to, I don't know, add to the meta story, I suppose. You can see the chronological order in which certain parts of production happened. I don't know, maybe that's interesting. But also, I just didn't really want to do anything off-screen for this LP. Like, I didn't want there to be unexplained halos or anything like that to just appear, so anything that I've done on camera. I don't want to upload, so So yeah, more new enemies. These guys are a little bit annoying, especially with the limited weapon selection in the beginning, because they can be a little difficult to hit because they like to move around a lot. But they're not hard to fight. And by they're not hard to fight, I mean they don't really have a lot of offensive options that can give you too much trouble. Because most of the time, even when they're winding up an attack, if you hit them, they'll just stop. So this one where they save up the sort of energy ball is probably the most dangerous one, because I don't think you can interrupt it. Unless you kill them, obviously. But yeah, the easiest way I find to deal with them is use a weapon that has splash damage, and then like use downward attacks, because that way they should be hit with the splash damage. But at this point in the game, I don't have access to anything like that, so you just gotta try and hit them. And so just before, I was talking over it, but I used my angel weapon right before I dealt sort of the damage threshold for that cutscene to trigger, which was a mistake because it means I lost it. I didn't know that would happen. I should have guessed, but not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but could have gotten a nicer combo score if I had kept it until afterwards. It's also really annoying because you can't skip that cutscene. There are a couple in the game that you can't skip. They're very rare, but that's one of them. And it's not that long, but it's still a little frustrating when you're forced to watch it. Especially when, like, you want to get back in and fight because you're having fun, and then you're forced to watch a 5-second cutscene. Life's so hard. Honestly, like, the angels are very brutally murdered. Like, I've never really paid any attention to that. That guy just got chewed in half. I wonder if this game offends Christians. I'd have thought, like, because you're fighting angels. If you're a Christian and you're watching this video, tell me what you think. Is Bayonetta fighting angels offensive? I feel like people would probably be like either totally like they don't even care, or it would be quite upsetting. I don't imagine there's someone who's just like neutral about it. Maybe, I don't know. Because there's like a couple of Japanese things that will sort of use sort of Christian mythology in a similar way that we would use like Greek or Norse, where it's just kind of like something interesting to put in fiction. Because although I think there is quite a few Christians in Japan these days, but yeah, it's not so. I feel like it might be a bit more taboo if it was made by Americans, but I'm not sure. Maybe it wouldn't be. Yeah, so we got a new weapon. The sword. I, in the past, haven't enjoyed using it all that much, mostly because any weapon in this game that is merely focused, like a sword, can be difficult to use because of breaking a combo. So if you don't attack fast enough and your combo breaks, then that's no fun. So it's usually just easier to use projectile weapons, because then you don't have to worry about it. But I decided to try and use it more in this playthrough, because might as well, for the LP's sake, to show it off. And it is a fun weapon if you know how to use it, but most of the time I guess I just can't be bothered.
a fever, and
So this Alpha, I'm not sure if one of them has come up in the LP before. I don't think there have... Yeah, no, there wouldn't have been. So this one, the only thing you need to know about it is that while it just says torture attacks, you have to actually kill the enemy with the torture attack, otherwise it won't count. And also, at times, I've had situations where I did kill them and it still didn't count for some reason. I think that was a glitch, but maybe not. Anyway, you need to kill them with the torture attack. You can't just use it on some of the larger enemies. You can use it on them and it won't kill them straight away. So you need to make sure that their health is low enough to kill them. With these little guys, it doesn't matter because they'll die immediately from a torture attack. But yeah, just something that you should know. So these really, what these Alfheims are really testing is your ability to gain magic. If you know how to gain magic at a pretty decent rate, then they're not difficult, other than, you know, your regular difficulty of playing. But they can be a real challenge if you're not aware of how to do it. And also, because when you get hit, you lose your magic. That can be a real problem here, so... There's no problem if you're doing a pure platinum run anyway, because obviously you're not trying to get hit, but if you're just playing through casually, especially when you have unupgraded magic, or like only a few extra magic notches, I suppose you'd call them, little orbs, it can be harder to like build up magic because you can't get a reserve of any sort to, like, I don't know, give you some protection. But yeah, if you're having trouble with it, there are things you can do, like taunting can give you magic without damaging any enemies. But of course, then the, I suppose, other edge of the sword there is that it might end up taking too long and then you won't get it for time. So, you know, it's all a balancing act. But it shouldn't take you too long to get it if you're attempting to pure platinum. Or even if you're just attempting to get it. You should be fine. I believe in you, person watching my video who also wants to pure platinum Bayonetta on normal. You can do it. So this one is really annoying. Again, it's a situation where if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard. But the main issue here for me is combo points. And that's why I ended up taunting him, because I was finding this Alfheim hard to get for the combo point thing. But yeah, taunt, get rich time, don't use overpowered weapons, and you should be fine. If you're having trouble just killing enemies with the amount of kicks and punches you're given, make sure that you're extending all your combos. And if you're in a pinch, switch to a high damage weapon like I did. Shuraba is really great for that because you can do the charged slashes. Yeah. Also, there are attacks you can get with certain weapons and or accessories. Or I suppose just with certain accessories, that will allow you to do damage without punching or kicking, so that's an option as well if you have them. But at this point, if you're playing through on a fresh playthrough, you won't, so you just kind of have to do it the old-fashioned way. So yeah, this one's pretty straightforward, it's just a gauntlet, lots of enemies, but other than that, no gimmick. If you don't get hit on these Alfheims, I don't think you'll have any trouble pure platinum them. If you break a combo, you might have trouble with it, but I really haven't ever had issues with getting combo point rank on this. But if you are, just use angel weapons, you know, the normal. And you'll get lots of opportunities too in this because of the how long it is and how many. Basically, I think every encounter here will give you a angel weapon if you hit them with a torture attack, because there are some enemies that won't drop them. That grab attack is a little bit annoying. If this enemy is going to hit me, it's from that attack. Yeah, so that's it for Alfheims in this chapter. There are 3, so it does make the chapter a little bit long, but yeah, they're all not that bad. There are some Alfheims later on and in harder difficulties that are just very, very frustrating. Yeah, so in the past chapter, and normally I think I will continue to cut out backtracking, but because there are all of those Alfheims in a row like that, and I'm trying to show off Alfheim locations, I didn't bother this time around. But in most situations, I will show Bayonetta going back, or going to the location of the Alfheim, but then once it's finished, I'll just cut to a familiar location, and then continue from there. Because these videos can get really long if you don't cut out some of the sinew. This thing is a little tricky to find. If you're just looking up locations or like watching videos like this on where everything is, obviously it doesn't matter. But on my first couple of playthroughs, I didn't do that. I was just kind of playing through. I never found that. It kind of hides in the leaves of that tree. So yeah, interesting fact here, not sure if I pointed it out or if you noticed by yourself, but if you use angel weapons outside of combat, they won't lose health, or I don't know what you call it, but they won't use, like, the little bar underneath the icon won't go down. But with this weapon in particular, it will disappear if you use the kick attack for some reason. I think the game is just coded to make the weapon die automatically when you use the kick attack, because it gets rid of the entire bar in one go. So it will still get rid of the weapon, but you can use the punch attack and it won't. So if you need to open those doors, or the I guess in that case it was a bridge, you still can. And there there might be, I don't know what was wrong with me there, but there might be other weapons that are the same, like it'd probably be the kick attacks. Like, it's possible that the weapons that Grace and Glory drop work that way. I'm not sure. I might do a test in a later chapter. But yeah, I think every single angel weapon, if you use the punch attack, it's not going to lower its health as long as you're outside of combat. So you should be fine. But yeah, and the third and final character that this chapter introduces is finally here. So I suppose this is an important chapter for the game's characters. So this is the game's first boss. Well, first, like, angel boss, I suppose. Jeanne's the first boss. And by that I don't mean this fight here. I would count this fight like a mini-boss, but the creature itself will become the first boss later on. And I like a lot of the angel designs, but I quite like this one a lot. I think it might be my favorite of the angel bosses. It's just cool. I like the motif that the angels have of having like faces on everything. I think it like makes them look kind of creepy. In a way that's like not overdone to death, you know? Like they managed to make these angels look unsettling without going the normal route that you normally would. Like, you know, they're not like having maggots pour out of them or anything silly. But yeah, I like this like dragon with two heads, but then like a baby face on its torso. Like, I just think it's neat, you know. But yeah, that's this chapter. After this cutscene, it's over. Really long. It's you know, these long chapters are the hardest I find when you're trying to be a platinum. Not this one isn't so bad. I feel like the worst one is the fifth one, which, you know, we'll get to. But yeah, these long ones can be such a slog. But, you know, they're fun at the same time. Anyway, I will see you in the next video.